we got a special guest with us today, Lil Wayne and Mr. Willie, introducing to you the daily activity for the day. What's up, y'all? It's me and Lil Wayne kicking it. Go ahead, give you the daily activity for the day. Date 2/25/2013. You know what I mean, Lil Wayne? Come on, pound it. Yeah, alright. And let's go ahead and get the learning target for you. Describe the term fascism. Fascism. That's fascism. You hear me? Look at the guy in the back. He's happy. Lil Wayne happy. You happy? A special introduction featuring Lil Wayne. Yeah, boy. Now just out on the beach chilling. So hopefully you have the daily activity done for the day. Wanted to talk about a few things before we move on to section 2. First being, most of you were absent last week on Friday, so you didn't get the opportunity to hand in either your wanted poster or last week's daily activity 6. So you probably need to revisit last week's post, 2/22/13, get the daily activity caught up, and then get those submitted using the tab on Edmodo labeled Daily Activity 6. If you don't remember how to hand those in, ask somebody next to you or raise your little hand and let me come over and help a brother or sister out. Alright? Let's see here. Next thing we want to talk about. We are going to begin watching a movie called Rise to Evil, or Rise of Evil. There are 12 parts. Each part has about 13-14 minutes of content, and it basically outlines how Hitler gained power and how he kept it. It's a very good movie. So every day or every other day we're going to watch part of that movie, and what you're going to do with that, you're going to get a separate piece of paper, and you're going to staple it to the back of your packet, and for each part you're going to title it Rise to Power Part 1, and then you're going to write 5 facts down in complete sentences about information or content of that video that you watched that day. So I will upload a video today, and I want you to go ahead and watch that first part, and again put 5 facts down on a separate piece of paper and staple that to the back of your chapter 17 packet. We good on that? So if I were you, I would go ahead and chicka pause. It's a beautiful sunset out there, isn't it? It's beautiful. But pause, go to Edmodo, watch the video, and once you're done with that, come on back to this video and finish up for the day. Alright? Okay, hopefully you've watched the movie. Starts off pretty good, doesn't it? Kind of shows you Adolf Hitler as a child, and so you kind of got a good idea of where he came from. We'll watch some more parts this week. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to our section 2 guided reading. So if you open up your packet to page 6, we'll go ahead and get going. Now I'm going to walk you through just a few of these and express some of my opinions, but basically you can complete the entire worksheet using your book. So go ahead and also grab a world history book from the back of the room and open up to page 560. That's 560. And if you don't like listening to me, you can just go on and use your book and complete the worksheet just like that. If you do like listening to me, I'll go ahead and walk you through some of it. So, hopefully you're on page 560 and you got your packet open to page 6. Section 2 is all about the rise of dictatorial regimes. Basically, people like Mussolini, Franco, Stalin, Hitler. These are all dictators. And that's what this section is all about. The big idea, yes, you do have to write it down, It's there in the top left-hand corner. And it says, by 1939, many European countries had adopted dictatorial regimes that aimed to control every aspect of their citizens' lives for state goals. So many dictators are going to say, you have to do all these things for our country. It's in the best interest of our country. So an individual might lose their rights, privileges, and that would be because they want to help the country out, or at least the dictator wants them to help the country out. Main idea, again on page 560, directly under where it says the rise of dictators, says the totalitarian states did away with individual freedoms. Again, going along the line of what dictators are going to do to try to control everything all the time. Moving on then, by 1939, only two major European states, and that would be France and Great Britain, remained democratic. So what we have in the United States is a democracy. Most other countries are going to adopt dictatorial regimes. Such countries are Italy, Soviet Union, and Germany. And then a new form of dictatorship was the modern totalitarian state. What was a totalitarian state? You should already know because that was our learning target on Friday. But the definition is the government aims to control the political, economic, social, intellectual, and cultural lives of its citizens. Best way to remember that is totalitarian. The first part of that word is total. So they're trying to control totally everything of people's lives. Totalitarian regimes wanted to conquer the minds and hearts of their subjects. So not only did they want to just, take their minds over and make them think one particular way, they wanted to make them feel it in their heart as well. How are they going to achieve this goal? They are going to achieve it through mass propaganda techniques and high-speed modern communication. So they're going to use like the media, so to say, at the time. The totalitarian states were led by a single leader and a single party. So there wasn't like Democrats and Republicans. It was just the Nazis and Adolf Hitler. That was the only thing that controlled everybody, just one group. What kind of things did a totalitarian regime reject? Let's see. They rejected the ideal of limited government power and the guarantee of individual freedom. So the very opposite of what we have in the United States. They didn't want to have limited government power. They wanted to have a lot of government power, and they didn't want to allow people to think they could have individual freedom, because it wasn't about individual freedom. It was about what was best for the country. This idea of a totalitarian state. Moving on to fascism in Italy. You see there where it talks about fascism in Italy on page 560. I'm actually going to let you go ahead and move on using your book and reading yourself. If there's something that you can't find, ask the person next to you, or just raise your hand and I'll help you out. Then also at the back on page 7, the section 2 review questions. Let's see, which is on page 567. Let's see what they look like here. Yeah, you guys can answer those, so just answer them right there. Alright, I think that's about it. Once you're done with that, make sure you take the quiz for the day. These questions that you're working on right now will actually be the questions on the quiz, so make sure you get that all taken care of. And don't forget, look at the back of the room. The whiteboard contains everything you should have done for the day, so make sure you have all that done too, alright? Holla! Lil Wayne says, holla!